And then what did you make of Sophie Cunningham's flagrant foul on JC towards the end?
It was a flagrant foul.
You think it's like defending Caitlin or defending the team, or how do you view just how it opened?
I view it as a flagrant foul.
Wow, that's about the game too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys came for basketball.
Yeah,
Let's talk about basketball.
Yeah.
Come on now.
What do you think of just how you all were able to pull away in the second half, Caitlin in particular?
We're going to the Commissioner Cup Championship.
Let's
That's
go!
pretty exciting. Y'all want to talk about that? Let's talk about that.
What do you think, again, in the second half?
WNBA stands dangerously close to undermining its own future. Its marquee player, Caitlin Clark, is reportedly nearing her limit, and murmurs of her potential exit are growing louder by the day. This isn't simply about rookie initiation. It's a tale of unchecked on-court violence, league-wide envy toward the very figure revitalizing their brand, and a press corps seemingly more interested in faulting the victim than addressing the root issues. A dramatic rumor is now gaining traction. Clark is strategizing a dramatic departure, a bold, calculated move that could unmask the league's deepest shortcomings and leave the WNBA scrambling for the spotlight she alone commanded.
WNBA record. This is her second season. And you put the numbers together, that's like 10 seasons. That girl did it in 10 seasons. That means she had one a season. Caitlin Clark is... when Caitlin Clark gets to 10 seasons, she's going to have 100 of these. And y'all can't get a girl her roses. Now, I don't like the fact that she be getting woke because she don't want all these lesbians to be mad at it. At the end of the day,
To comprehend why walking away is even an option, you first have to understand the magnitude of her influence. The data doesn't just illustrate her impact, it broadcasts it. Prior to Clark's arrival, the WNBA was a marginal entity struggling for visibility. After she entered the scene, it transformed into a must-watch spectacle. She became a solo economic boom. Arenas once filled with empty rows suddenly sold out across the country, not just in Indiana, but everywhere she played. Rival teams relocated games to NBA-sized stadiums to manage the tidal wave of spectators eager to witness her in action.
This is all going according to plan. This is ideal. Caitlin Clark is holding up her end by being awesome and by being a trash-talking jerk on the court. Love it. Her teammates are holding up their end by having her back. The other players in the league are holding up their end by not liking her. Perfect. Couldn't have written a better script. Caitlin is talking trash to this girl's hard fouling her. Her teammate Sophie Cunningham, who got a black belt in Taekwondo at the age of 6, she's like, I will F you guys up. All of it's great, and Caitlin's a killer. 10 out of 10.
Her jersey became the top-selling in all of sports upon launch. Television ratings on major networks soared, tripling and even quadrupling in some cases. But the most jarring evidence came when she missed time due to injury. Viewership nosedived by an astonishing 55%. Let that number settle in. One player benched, and over half the league's audience vanished. She wasn't just a breakout star, she was the market. Her presence generated revenue not just for her franchise but also for the competitors who seemed to resent her for doing so.
Caitlin Clark is driving the WNBA insane. It's to the point that she may need to step away from the WNBA, have a billionaire come in that has the money to prove a point, and say, Caitlin, I'll pay you $50 million just to see if the WNBA can make it without you. Let's go create a complete different league and expose the hell out of the WNBA just to embarrass this Angel Reese girl that Jameel Hill just said she could go down as a Michael Jordan of WNBA.
Despite the wealth and attention she brought to the sport, Clark's league debut resembled a street fight more than a celebratory welcome. It became obvious that opposing players shared one defensive strategy: test how much punishment she could take before cracking. This wasn't gritty basketball, it was coordinated aggression. Each game featured sequences of blatant contact, illegal screens, shoves away from the ball, and body checks teetering on the edge of foul play. The low point came when Marina Mabrey bulldozed Clark with a body slam entirely disconnected from the play, a move more befitting a hockey rink.
Well, I will say this, when Caitlin Clark was out, they lost 55% of their viewership. So, basically, Caitlin Clark is paying all their salaries.
Pretty much.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can hate her as much as you want, but she's brought in millions of fucking dollars. So you should be kissing her ass.
And that kind of defeated the purpose of Angel Reese's argument of she's like, hey, it's not just Caitlin Clark that is bringing all the viewership to the WNBA. It's like, well, It definitely is. It's like it kind of proved that with the viewership rating being down, that she significantly increases viewership with.
They try so hard to compare her to Caitlin Clark. They try so.
Through every blow, Clark's stoic response became her greatest defense, at least in the eyes of her critics. She didn't lash out. She didn't whine. She simply stood up, shook it off, and resumed play. That unshakable poise wasn't applauded as professionalism, it was misread as arrogance. And that only escalated the hostility. The message was unmistakable. You will not surpass us. If skill won't stop you, pain might.
Fever and sun hold a brawl and a basketball game breaks out. This was something. Caitlin Clark, without question, gets raked across the face. I think she gets poked in the eye, but it's difficult to tell.
If you're the Indiana Fever, you cannot stand by and let that happen. They need to make it clear to the officials. If you're going to let this happen, then we're going to stand up for our player and make a mess of the game, and you're going to have a big mess on your hands. So you need to stand up for this. You need to do something about this.
You've just learned with definitive data and beyond question that Caitlin Clark controls more than half the audience for the entire WNBA.
Physical hits were only one side of the issue. The officiating corps, tasked with maintaining fairness, seemed absent. As Clark endured repeated fouls, referees remained alarmingly passive. Clear-cut violations were either overlooked or downgraded to minor infractions, sending a dangerous signal. Targeting is tolerated. The league's front office, charged with safeguarding its brightest star, stayed frustratingly mute, quicker to weigh in on a tire than to acknowledge the coordinated intimidation of their main attraction.
Us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA.
That stunning silence sparked an online uprising. The #Protect Caitlin Clark movement was born. Fans became grassroots referees, dissecting game footage frame by frame, highlighting missed calls, and pleading for accountability that never arrived. The campaign spotlighted a troubling contradiction at the core of the WNBA. They wanted her marketability, her ratings boost, her ticket revenue, but refused to offer her the basic fairness given to others. This wasn't just neglect, it felt like calculated disregard, a silent nod of approval to the ongoing harassment.
I am sick and tired of the way they are treating my girl, Caitlin Clark. I am here to propose a solution. I think they need an enforcer. You know, someone who comes off the bench to kind of lay the smack down on an opposing team member. I want to get the word out to the Indiana Fever that I am available. I'm ready to identify as whatever I need to in order to get the job. They need someone like me. Why?
As if things weren't surreal enough, sports media joined the fray, against her. Rather than condemn the hits, commentators spun a narrative that blamed Clark herself. They said her confidence provoked retaliation. Her trash talk? Too bold. Her demeanor? Too defiant. These takes weren't just flawed, they were absurd. The world of elite sports thrives on bravado. Michael Jordan verbally dismantled rivals. Larry Bird made psychological warfare an art. Their swagger was legendary. But when Clark shows that same fire, it suddenly invites violence. The contradiction was enraging, blaming the mailbox for getting hit by the speeding car.
Oh, it's this shit I don't like. A snitch, nigga, it's this shit I don't like.
You know, they get into it a bit here. Lexi Holdown gets it.
Oh, bitch, nigga.
Sheldon's face, Caitlin Clark hits the deck.
Sneak decides that's shit I don't like.
Sheldon and Cunningham are getting into it.
A snitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like.
Caitlin Clark with a few words with JC Shannon.
And this hostility didn't stop at opponents. It ran through the league's veteran culture like a virus. Gatekeeping became the word on everyone's lips. A bizarre, self-sabotaging mindset emerged among some established players, believing Clark hadn't earned her place. Earned what, exactly? She had already done more for league visibility and revenue than entire teams had in decades. The animosity was thick. Players who'd long struggled for recognition now found themselves sidelined in the Caitlin Clark era, and they didn't like the view. Her rivalry with Angel Reese was widely covered, but it was only one branch of a deeper issue. An identity crisis among players more invested in keeping Clark in check than maximizing the once-in-a-lifetime surge she brought. In their fixation with who ruled the court, they failed to see the kingdom teetering without her.